It's I was thinking, I ought to show this. Hey, are we live? We are live. Hey, we are live. Welcome everybody. Welcome to, what number is this now? Anybody remember?
62, 62.
This is number 62
We
of
could officially collect Social Security now.
Yeah, that's right. This
Yes,
is the
you can.
62nd Carolina Retirement Planners Happy Half Hour. If you are joining us for the first time, Sam, why don't you introduce us for those who by chance may not know who we are?
Well, I'm Sam Shukavage. With me, as always, is our fearless leader, David Shukavage, the president of Carolina Retirement Planners. And with us, as always, even on her vacations, running the show behind the scenes is Amy, our director of client fun. She makes everything happen, all the technology come together, working furiously in the background to make this happen for us every week.
And this
I
is
love
not
that new
trivial because
title.
we're doing it in Zoom and moving it into Facebook and recording it, and it's going to be archived in
Except for last week, which we're not going to talk about that.
In whatever the thing is. So,
All right, getting back to work, guys. Gotta go.
Okay, welcome everyone.
He's responding to your messages, plugging this into that, loading this into here. She makes the magic happen for us each week.
And we always try to, kind of keep it light and teach a little something, and enjoy our different cocktails and drinks. And
yes, because we like to call this Little Friday. It's
That's what I call it. I love Little Fridays. They're so fun.
If you are on, please say hi in the chat. We won't know unless you type in that you're here. So that's the only way we can tell that you're here.
We're happy to have you here lurking in the background too. But if you say hi, we'd love to say hi to you back.
And later on, we will be giving away, at the end, we always give away 2 bottles of wine, which is in this age, especially this past 62 COVIDian weeks, wine always goes well to kind of help things. And gosh, we got some folks coming in already. I see Miranda.
Hey, Miranda.
Our top fan is there. Brad, it's good to see you. Nancy, good to see you here too. Lanny's another regular, been here religiously. Randy.
And Randy and Ed. Hey, y'all. And Rich, hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And Lynn, hi, thank you for being here. And Al, hi. And Phil, good afternoon.
Do you have to mention what we're talking about, like drinking wise? We have to cheers because I want to show everybody because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah. So, well, I don't think that Dad and I are drinking anything exciting today. I have too much work to do tonight. So I am not opening a new bottle of wine. So I'm drinking a grapefruit LaCroix.
Okay.
I'm drinking
tea. Let me guess, tea.
Tea. It just I was tempted.
What do you got?
Okay, so I'm drinking a PBR, but look at this. It's a PBR hard coffee. What the heck is that? I don't even know if there's caffeine in here, because if there is, then I'm in trouble later, but whatever.
Well, those high class beers there,
Well, it's kind of like a Red Bull, but PBR. Whenever I was in college, Red Bull was very popular. We would mix Red Bull and vodka and stay up all night.
I seriously hope this is not like a Red Bull, because then I really will be in trouble.
The kids, back in my day, we didn't have Red Bull. We just stayed up all night,
I don't know how we used to do it. And well, Bruce is, he's enjoying a glass of Merlot from Fermental. He was one of our wine winners. So I hope that they did you well and sent you a delicious Merlot.
And Fred,
Uh,
it's good to see you're here. We had a nice visit today with you and
John,
your wife.
hi, and Diane. Ooh, it's not pumpkin beers. It is, it's nice that there is like starting to feel like almost like the southern version of the chill in the air. Like it's dropped from like, the high 80s to the mid to low 80s. But we'll, we take what we can get here. Uh,
I'm a
and
big fan of pumpkin beers, pumpkin everything. I'm one of those. I'm like, okay, it's August and there's pumpkin released. Let me have it.
mhm. uh,
You can wash it down with a pumpkin coffee from Port City, Java. That'll be the pumpkin spice will be out now. Apparently pumpkins are coming. The pumpkin flavor coffee is coming in earlier and earlier.
Well, I think that we all could use any reason to start celebrating. That's somebody posted like, "Can I put my Halloween decorations up?" And I'm like, "Put your Christmas lights up, your Halloween decorations up." I I say go for it. We could all use
I'm with
any
you.
reason to celebrate.
Yeah, I live in the world of whatever you want to do, just do it. Whatever makes you happy, go for it. As long as you're not hurting someone else, have fun.
I know. I think it would spark a little joy for me to walk by a Halloween decked out
And
house right now.
it looks like Debbie and Jean have joined us. Robert is here. Rick and Marcy are here. Uh, um, Jay and Carter are here.
Oh, I think
Nadine,
Megan's there too. Hey, y'all.
yeah. Uh, and
Ed and Renee.
Ed, Arthur, Paul. Good to see you here. We talked earlier this week as well. Arthur, welcome.
Yes,
And
Art and Kate.
I got to give a shout out. My mom is here because, I love my mom. I have the best mom in the world. Love her.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, Dad, do you think we should get started? I
Well,
see that the clock
we
is.
should get started. We have one before we get into anything serious. We always talk about what day it is. Amy, what day is today?
Today is National Teddy Bear Day.
National
What?
Teddy Bear. Well, where did the concept of teddy bear come up? Sam, you know the story of teddy bears. How did the teddy bear come up? What was it named after?
It was actually named after President Theodore Roosevelt. He was invited out on a hunting trip with a group of guys, and they had some friendly competition. And it seems that the story goes that a number of the other gentlemen had already, shot and killed some prey, and President Roosevelt had not yet. So his men apparently tracked, beat down, and wrangled in this black bear and chained him to a tree, and then walked over to the president and said, "Hey, we've got this bear for you to kill to, be in this competition." And he was disgusted with them and, said, refused to kill it, said it was an absolutely unsportsmanlike and just, disgraceful. And he, I think that this cartoon, this political cartoon came out of that day in that instance. And I think previous to this, bears were always seen as being something that were just absolutely terrifying. And this moment of him showing compassion to it, and this cartoon kind of put bears in a different light. And after seeing this cartoon, I think it was a gentleman who owned a candy store created a bear cub stuffed animal and put it in his store window and put a little placard next to it and said
Aww,
Teddy's bear.
look how
And
cute.
thus I think he actually had requested, sent
Got
sent a
permission.
letter. Yeah, he got permission from Teddy Roosevelt to do this. And thus the teddy bear was born.
And this is, I believe, a picture of the original teddy bear, which, by the way, went up for sale on eBay not too long ago. So, yeah. So today is Teddy Bear Day, and who knew? It's more interesting than one would have thought. But what is our main topic for today?
Oh gosh, I totally forgot for a minute. I thought we were just here having fun. So we are talking, so we are discussing market volatility, which I think is actually apt right now. The market's been, been a little volatile over the past week here.
Yeah,
So
and
it's a pertinent topic.
we want to talk about how do you measure market volatility and how do you know how volatile yours is? And it really comes down to a ratio. Is you're trying to get as much return as you can, but along with return comes risk. And so you're looking to get a high return and a low risk. That's kind of what we want with investments. And if you look into it a little more closely, you know that if you invest something, as time goes on, you have ups and downs, right? The investment will have good years and good days and good months and bad months, and you'll have this up and down pattern. And we can kind of look at this up and down pattern and say, if you think about it, this pattern has sort of a distribution to it. You have a positive side and a negative side.
Fancy, Dad. You're excited to figure out how to do that.
I'm having fun.
I'm pretty impressed with this. Yeah.
And this definitely beats your car drawing from last week, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to reprieve myself from my car drawing. Now, if I could only get it to do this fancy thing. Why is it? Sorry.
Oh, we jinxed you.
Yeah, oh gosh. Let's try this again. So we have years where it's positive and years where it's negative, or times when it's negative. And we also end up with what you might call an average, where we'll have a return here that would be our average return. Our average return is you remember, we have return divided by risk. Most people understand an average. You add them up, divide by the number, and that's your average. But how do you measure when something's wobbling like this? How do you measure the risk? How do you measure the amount of wobble? If you know the answer, type it into the chat. And Amy, if someone types something in, let me know. Give a holler.
I definitely will.
Does someone know what measures statisticians, engineers use to measure the amount of wobble or fluctuation in something? Do we have any?
I just pulled up the chat, and
Bruce said, "Yeah, sigma."
Sigma, that's right. Standard deviation. It's typically standard deviation. Standard deviation is a measure of how much wobble something has. Let's kind of look a little more detailed at this and maybe use some real data that I've not done this online before. It's something I teach when we do workshops. We do a lot of this. We're going to look at two different portfolios. One of them is the S&P standard, the 500 biggest stocks, and how it did from the year 2000 to the year 2015, over 16 years. And you see, we had really bad years when the market fell in 2000, we had a bad year in 2008, and we had some good years. Over on this side is a thing called the all-weather portfolio. And it was developed by a guy named Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio has the largest hedge fund in the world, I think, the Bridgewater Associates is his fund, and he has a portfolio he uses for some of his investments, and he told folks what it was, and they back tested it, and this is that portfolio. Now, Sam, if we look at the S&P, what was the best year that the S&P had in these 16 years?
32.39% in 2013.
Right. In 2013, it did 30. I want you to remember these numbers for me. So when I go to the next slide, we can get it. What was the worst year for the S&P?
-37.
-37. That was back in 2008. Now, if we look at the all-weather portfolio, what was the best year for the all-weather portfolio?
15.26.
So it's here at 15.26, 15%. And what was the worst year for the all-weather portfolio?
-5.37.
Yep, down here in 2015, it was -5%.
Which is, you know, what I find interesting in comparing the two of these is that their best and worst years are not the same years.
That's right. And, you know, this one, it had a really good year. It had a +32, but it had a really bad year, a -37. And here we had a +15. We didn't have as big a swings. We had less swings. And you can see that the minus is a lot less. In fact, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Here's the other key thing I have to mention. You notice that they both averaged about 5.7%.
Oh, well, then what's the difference?
They both average 5.7. So it seems like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
So
what's the
let's
matter?
let's go and plot these here. So this is a little chart I got to plot some stuff, and this is 0, and this is -10, -20, -30, -40, and this is +10, 20, 30, 40. Let's start with the S&P. What was the worst year for the S&P again?
Oh, -37.
So here is the -37, the worst for the, and what was the best year for the S&P?
32.
32%. So, and it averaged, what did we say? They both averaged
It was like
5.7. So
Yeah.
they both averaged something right about here. So if we go back to the S&P, it looks something like this. Oops, maybe I'll try that again. And if we look at the all-weather portfolio, what was its worst year?
-5.37.
-5. And what was its best year?
15.26.
15.5. So if I draw its picture, had the same average, but you see how much more compact it is. You know, and you know what happens is when the market falls like this, if we look at this red one, when the market falls, oops, that's not what I want. When the market falls, we have a long way to go to come back and recover our losses. But when what did I just do? That wasn't good.
You're gonna have to try to draw that beautiful.
Yeah, no, what I was doing is, this is a highlighter. If I put that on, it highlights and then it fades. So it had me confused. So, so this one, you know, we had these great big swings. Here we had much less swings, but we made the same amount of average over that time. We took a lot less risk to get the same average. Now, I'll tell you something. If you go and you calculate the the well, the standard deviation for the S&P is, no, I'm going to come back to this. Sorry. We'll come back to this. Okay, so that's an idea of the now, how do we relate this idea of risk to return? And a gentleman named William F. Sharp did that. He looks
I love that
he looks
picture. He's
kind of
like,
smug.
hey.
He looks kind of smug, and in a minute we'll understand why.
He looks like he knows what he's talking about. He looks pretty sharp.
He was born in 1934. He is still, I think he was born in New York. He is still alive. He is he's 87 years young. And I think it's 87. And
I feel like I want to give that guy a high five.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'll high five him with you.
He was a professor at Stanford. I think he's still some kind of adjunct professor or something. And in 1990, he won the Nobel Prize for economics. Did I spell Nobel right?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's not a noble gas, it's a Nobel Prize. And
prize, on the other hand, I'm not,
he also, along the way, with two other people, created a company called Financial Engine, sort of a financial company. And in 2018, they sold that company for $3 billion in cash.
Wow, doing pretty okay.
So he's got a reason to look smug, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But what he said is, he said, if we take the average return and we divide it by the standard deviation, we get what has been now known as the Sharpe ratio. It's a way to compare it. Now, you want a high Sharpe ratio because you want high return and low risk. So the higher the number, the better. If we go back to this example, the Sharpe ratio for the S&P is like 0.3, and the Sharpe ratio for this other portfolio is about 1. So you've got a single number that can kind of relate your risk to your return and let you know if you are, how you are doing. And so it's a way to look at a single number and kind of get a picture of what this graph may be telling you. Now, one of the things we do is when we're looking at portfolios, especially when someone brings us, oh, here's what I'm invested in. We have a program with Morningstar we can put it in and look at how that looks. Well, this is one example we ran where the return is 14%, and the standard deviation is 13.6%. So the Sharpe ratio is about 1. Here is one that someone brought us not too long ago. You can see that the return is 7, but the standard deviation is over 11. It's got a low Sharpe ratio of 5.6. You can kind of see if your wobble is bigger than your return, you may be taking a lot of risk to get a relatively small amount of return. So this is kind of a little lesson in risk and how you can kind of boil it down to a single number. Just an aside for the engineers, are to be absolutely the way Sharpe defined return was a risk-free, is turn above a risk-free return. He used a 3-year treasury bill. 3-year treasury bills right now are paying like 0.01%. So it's essentially zero, but it's a little more complicated, and there's other ways you can do it, but this just to give you the basic concept. So now what can you do? What else can you do to minimize this? And one thing we use a lot when we're building a portfolio and we want some money on defense is we'll use structured products in the form of indexed annuities. And what indexed annuities do is they put the money into bonds. Bonds themselves are only producing, like 1 to 2% right now. They'll put it into treasury bonds and things, but they'll bet the interest on the market. The market goes up, they win, and they put the money back into bonds. If the market goes down, they just didn't make any money. So they end up with a distribution that looks like this, where they've basically eliminated anything below zero. And if you can get rid of the bad years, you don't have to crawl out of the hole you built. And so this indexing is one powerful way to get around that. Has advantages, other advantages and disadvantages, but with the right balance, it allows us to kind of have our cake and eat it too. We can get the upside, but eliminate that tail down there. But Sam, there's another moral to the story here. What is that?
I'm so sorry. I was looking to try to figure out if I was looking for the answer to Rick's question.
Okay.
I thought let me refocus myself on what you were asking. Oh, I thought I was going to ask you the moral of the story. I mean, the moral of the story essentially, this is what whenever you talk to me about what you were going to be talking about today, I said, well, this is all well and good, Dad, and you're throwing out a bunch of parabolas and graphs and numbers and ratios, but at the end of the day, people want to know, what does this mean for me? What does this mean for my portfolio? How do I use what you're telling me in a way, how does this relate to me? How can I use this in a way that benefits me in my retirement?
One of the morals is when you're 40 years old and you're working and the market's going back and forth and you're putting a little bit of money in every month, you're getting dollar cost averaging. When you buy down here, everything's on sale. And when it comes back up here, you get a boost. So the volatility when you're working can work for you. It helps you because the times when things are down, they're on sale. You're putting the same amount of money in.
Yeah, my investments right now are all in equities. I'm taking on as much risk as possible. And every time I see the market dip, I buy some more.
When you're retired,
because of where I'm at in my life.
When you're retired and you're taking money out of the market, then what happens is when the market falls, you got to sell twice as much to get your enough money to buy your happy half hour drink. And so it's not there to come back for you. So when you get to the point where you're in the distribution phase or close to it, you want to move out of things. You want to avoid things that are too volatile because it can hurt you. You need that. The thing that used to help you while you were working hurts you while you're retired. So that's kind of another piece of the moral. So, okay, it is probably time. We are right at the hour. What's next on our agenda?
It is the wine.
Wait. I didn't know if you guys I have something that we can offer to people if you would like.
Well, I want to answer, I was trying to look for the answer to Rick's question. He wanted to know if we were able for a a given stock or fund to find the Sharpe ratio. And I'm sure that you can find that. One of our favorite resources is like our like quick and dirty resources is Yahoo Finance. And I'm finding a lot of stats on here, but I don't
Yeah, I'm not sure you're going to find
a
it easy
Sharpe
because
ratio.
it's also how you calculate it. How far back in time do you do? Do you do it yearly? Do you do it monthly? What do you use as an offset? So it's not something that's commonly seen. We get it when we run our Morningstar analysis. We actually have it for. We have added for some accredited investors. We've added hedge funds that have some advantages, and they're giving the Sharpe ratio, but they used an offset of 3% instead of 0.1 because that's what they do. And I find it's interesting, but it just the concept of risk and return is what's important. So let's get on. We don't want to run too far over here.
I'm sorry.
Amy, what do we have? Is we have something to offer folks.
We do. So if anybody would like, we have a little booklet called Will Your Money Last as Long as You Do? So if you would like a copy of this, you could send us an email to info@carolinarp.com. I'll put that in the Facebook chat and we can send you a copy in the actual mail. And David, I know that you love to say, what is a uniform employee?
Delivered by a uniformed employee of the U.S. government.
Yes, yes.
It's also worth mentioning, especially if you're a visitor here and you're saying, gosh, I'd like to, I wonder what my ratio is. And, if you go to carolina15.com, it's a little website, you can book a 15-minute call with us and we can sit down and just chat with you. And if you say, well, I'd like to run mine or I have a question about this, just book a 15-minute call. We'll chat and see what we can do here. No cost or obligation to do that, but it's another resource we have to help folks that are on this call. So.
Yes, and I'll put that in the Facebook comments as well.
Okay, Sam.
Mail carriers don't all wear uniforms these days. The ones that deliver my mail wear their own clothes. Just FYI, they're all.
I heard one.
If you don't have to get out of your car, you don't necessarily have to wear a uniform. But
I heard one talking the other day, talking about how they're hurting for mail carriers. They're all working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you're looking for a steady overwork job with a group of relatively unhappy people, that might be you can go postal.
Well, so thanks for that input, Dad. I think most everybody's hiring, so including the mail service. But so we're time for a mail drawing and our wine drawing, and to enter our wine drawing every week, all you have to do is, if you are a member of Facebook, you just say that you are going to our event each week and we'll automatically enter you. And if you forward it to a friend or invite a friend to our event, we will also give you an additional entry. If you shoot us an email, we'll send out, if you're on our email list, we'll send out an email to let you know what the topic is. And if you reply to that email and ask us a question about the topic, or give us a future topic, or say, enter me into the wine drawing, we'll enter you in here too. If you forward it to a friend and let us know, we'll give you an additional entry as well. So there's all kinds of ways to get your name in here in my bowl. And our winner this week of 2 bottles of wine delivered directly to your door from Fermental Bottle Shop. They're located in Ogden, a really cool family-owned bottle shop, got a great beer garden. If you're out in that side of town, you should go visit them.
They have Merlot. They have Merlot ice cream too.
They do have Merlot
flavored
ice cream.
Lots of flavors of wine ice cream, and it's so yummy.
Mm-hmm. And if you like beer too, they've got lots of really great beer. But our winner this week is Cheryl S. So congratulations, Cheryl. You are our wine winner this week. And for everybody who didn't win, please keep entering. Please keep RSVPing to our Facebook events and emailing us and entering. I love to give away wine.
Okay, well, it's been fun. Until next week for number 63.
Number
We
63.
will see you all. Cheers.
I didn't finish
Cheers.
it. I always try. It doesn't happen. But cheers.